after I've written down, look, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to pay $947 a month 84 times. I get it. You can, but you don't want to. I appreciate that. However, two things. One, your truck's going to depreciate. The good news is, and this is the truth, trucks aren't depreciating like they used to. Everything's depreciating at a much slower rate now because there are still inventory issues, and there probably will be for the rest of our lives, okay? So, it's going to depreciate. And two, and this is what most people don't know, is every time you stroke a check for $947, there is a savings element, meaning you're going to get part of that money back. And then I'll ask the customer, I'll say, hey Carter, anybody ever showed this to you before? The customer will go, no. What are you talking about? And say, all right, here's what you don't want to do. And then I'll draw a picture of a check. I'll write $947, I'll fake a signature, and put lender. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to write a check for $947. I get it. I understand it. You're buying a gorgeous truck though, and that's what you're going to have to do. But once you send this check to a lender, then I draw a little box and put lender. When you send that check to the lender, Corbin, you think that lender's going to keep it all, don't you? Well, that's not quite the way it works. Okay? Let me show you. And then I take them out 7 years into the future. And I'll say, once you make that 84th payment, what comes back to you in the mail? You'll be stunned at the number of consumers that have no earthly idea what comes back in the mail because they've never paid off a vehicle. Okay? So you may have to coach them here. Dana, what comes back in the mail is a title. Okay? And then I'll draw a picture of a title. By the way, all my drawings are like squares and rectangles. And I'll put F and C at the top. That means free and clear. That means that title has only got one name on it, and that's Dana's name. All right? Now the question I've got for you, Lucas, is what do you think? If you drive the truck, use the truck like you intend to. You don't do anything special, but you don't crash it. You don't trash it either. What do you think this $60,000 vehicle will be worth in 7 years? Just say 20 grand. 20 grand. All right, so 7 years from now, JT, you've got a truck, you've got no car payment, and you've got a piece of paper that is worth $20,000. That's the title to your truck. And then I'll say, Brickell, how do I say it? Brickell?
Yep.
Brickell, you got a phone on you?
Yep.
Open up the calculator. Divide 20,000. What's he going to divide the 20,000 by?
84.
Say again?
84.
84. Divide that by 84.
$238.
Then I'll say, Carter, do you know what that 238 represents? Every time you write a $947 check, metaphorically speaking, $238 is flowing right back to your title. Okay? So while you're paying $947 to own it, you're not paying $947 to drive it. Because, back to my calculator man, what's 947 minus 238? Say again? 947 minus 238.
$708.
So that's what you're going to pay to drive the truck, not $947. Then you don't say, do you understand? How does that sound? What the fuck do you think? You quickly turn this page. Yeah, I know, I just did it again. Thank you. And close them. Say, put a check mark by that payment there and okay that right there so I can get your new truck ready for delivery. Okay? So it's storytelling combined with a little bit of math. The math is simple. What do you think the truck will be worth? 20 grand. Divide 20 grand by the term of the loan. That gives you the amount of money that's literally flowing back to the title each time they write that check, because when they get done paying for the vehicle, it's not worthless, correct? Hopefully anyway. It doesn't turn to dust. There is a value there. I told, I forget who I told this to. I was 35 years in this business before I ever learned this. And I learned it from a motorcycle guy. I was training Harley Davidson salespeople, and a guy by the name of Elvis Vaughn. We were talking about defending payments, and he goes, I have another way of doing it. And I said, well, certainly show me. And he showed me this, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've gotten emails from salespeople and sales managers from all over this country, from people I don't know who have watched me do it, because I've got it 50 times on YouTube. And they all say it is the most effective way they have ever used to help the customer say yes to a payment that they can afford. Again, I've done it with customers probably 100 times. Does every customer lay down for me? No. But the biggest problem I have is when I get done with it, the customer looks at me and says, hey pal, read my lips. I can't write a check for $947, okay? The payment's too high for me to make on a monthly basis. So what's the problem?
The vehicle.
We got them on the wrong vehicle.